My name is Jaba. That is my sign name. I'm a deaf leader in the deaf community of South Africa. I was born deaf. I've went through various amount of experiences, especially within the education system of South Africa. And I want to share these two experiences with you. Those experiences have remained with me up until my adult life. When my parents found out that I was deaf, the doctor advised my parents there was no educational options for me or medical options for me, especially within the education field. As a result of that, I was sent to an oral school. In the oral school, I was taught how to speak. They told me that I need to live a normal life in the oral school for at least 5 years. It was a complete battle for me. At the age of 7, my parents then decided that I cannot speak clearly. They were also advised that I will never be able to achieve anything academically because my English was very poor. They were then advised that I need to go to a deaf school where only sign language was available. I was extremely confused in that experience. People were trying to tell me that I need to speak clearly and that I need to hear what I am saying. I failed in doing that. Before my mother passed, she worked extremely hard to make sure that I heard the words and pronounced it clearly. I cried on a daily basis because I had to repeat the same words every day, not understanding why I was not pronouncing it clearly. This happened when I entered preschool, and at that time I never knew I was deaf. At the age of 7.5, I entered a deaf school, and that is where I learned South African Sign Language. That was the first time I was exposed to the language, and I learned it within 2 weeks. The language helped me to follow in my classes, in my subjects, and it became much easier for me. A few teachers brought in visual materials into the class. Those materials helped us to comprehend and understand words in the English language. Also, educational outings assisted us a lot because the visual things that we saw helped us to understand, like the history, museums, factories that we went into, not knowing that chips were made from potatoes. And that is where we internalized and learned much better. That was also very motivating for me to improve my academic expectations and learning on a daily basis. When I entered grade 12, my final year of high school within South Africa, I compared myself to my hearing friends. I did not want to tell my friends that my subjects were lower grade because I was standard grade and they were higher grade. They had the option of choosing subjects, we did not. For example, they did Afrikaans, I did sign language. At the time, sign language was not an official language as yet, especially within the schools. However, I had to make sure that I worked extra hard. I'd had additional classes after school, on holidays. I used to still attend school for those classes. The teachers made themselves available for us because they wanted to make sure that we succeeded. They knew that we were entering the adult world and we wanted to be successful. I would like to thank those teachers for giving their time and their extra hours to us, especially during their school holidays. My initial aim was to go into the medical field, but due to barriers and subjects not matching the field, I could not study. Limitations in the deaf schools are various, especially with subject choice. There isn't really much choice for us. After I finished matric, I decided to go into the business world. I studied at a local college to get my diploma. When I was done with that, I entered university to get my BCom degree. At both institutions, I did not have an interpreter, but I myself did the extra work and additional efforts to make sure that I succeeded. I approached my lectures individually before classes. Also, my peers that I made assisted me to make sure that I did not miss out on any work. And also, I was involved in a lot of project and group work. At university, what helped me a lot is a dictionary. The reason for that is it gave me explanations of terminologies that I did not understand. I also found a quiet room where I would sit, read the material, and sign it to myself to help me internalize the information. Today, I work within the deaf community of South Africa. I've learned a lot over the years, and I use that to empower, to motivate the deaf community to make sure that they feel confident in their futures and their future plans. We also assist them to get better opportunities, because without education, you cannot be successful. The deaf learners are not able to enter universities to study as their subjects don't meet the criteria. But we make sure that they get involved in learnerships or internships, and that assists them in obtaining more experience and more credits so that they are able to study further. My experiences has taught me a lot, and I believe that every deaf child, whether they're young, old, women or grown adults, can achieve. One important element is sign language, and that provides us with accessibility. Teachers need to be able to sign. That is easier for them to teach the deaf children as well. Previous teachers that have taught us in sign language and given their extra hours to make sure that we are successful has impacted positively on our lives. Sign language is not the only important medium for instruction, but also it helps us to understand that we can achieve and accept our identity as a deaf person, and to be proud of that as well as our culture. Previously, before these experiences, I felt like I was broken and I was a failure because I could not speak. It is important that teachers and parents work together. In doing so, they motivate deaf learners. Schools should also invite successful deaf adults to come into the school and present on a daily basis on their successes. Role models are very important for deaf learners so that they can look up to these role models and realize that they can also achieve and follow their dream careers.